What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. In this episode we have Pinnacle Cup 2, second upload of the day. And to my positive surprise, they did end up adding all of the teams that qualified to this playoff stage. You can see the bracket here. It's single elimination with, I believe, these two teams being invited. Sinners and Endpoint finishing 3-0 in the Swiss stage, so they also get to the quarterfinals, and then the rest of the qualified teams play here. So yeah, which teams should I like? Okay, here's an important note that I kind of made for myself into this one. If we look at how long we have until this this fantasy league is closed, it's like 12 hours or so right now. So there's not a long amount of time for people to make and adjust their lineups, and a lot of people will have made their lineups already, which means I believe the only teams that were available were Sinners. There's probably like Skade, Young Ninjas was added as well, but most of these teams that had already qualified quite early on, Sinners and Endpoint probably as well. So teams like Force and Spirit were actually added, I believe, quite recently, as well as the teams that qualified today. So yeah, it's interesting that a lot of people will not be picking Spirit, for example, who I do think are probably gonna make it to the finals unless they get beaten by Entropic. Obviously, look, these tournaments are exactly the kinds of tournaments where some of these lower ranked teams can definitely pull off upsets. I mean, Spirit went 0-2 in Cologne, which is not good. They went 0-2 against, well, Heroic and FaZe, who are both, of course, good teams. But Spirit has not been looking that great lately. So it's kind of unfortunate that the one time I would like to kind of pick the most picked teams and the teams that are like were added late on are not that good or haven't been doing that well lately. I think the question is like, does a team like Entropic, how have they done recently? Losing to Ents and Mouse next, okay. Not that great, but I still think they have great potential. Fueled by Skade. I think they still have great potential, and they were also added late, which means that they are not picked quite as much. Skade, I believe, also was added late. I'm not quite sure, actually. I should have actually checked which teams were like picked or were added later on than others. Or if Skade been doing, I saw they beat they've been doing better again, I guess. These are good wins. Okay, so I think Skade might be a good pick for this one instead of Entropic. I'm gonna make the Skade gamble here because the players are kind of cheap again, and I think Denislo is great. Was a great player. Last month. Okay, Ships has been kind of doing not that great. Like, he did so well super early on. What about Rainwaker? He was also one of those really good players for them at some stage. He's still doing fine. I think Rainwaker, Denislo might be the picks here. I'll check the other two as well, Duplicate and Jun. And how they have been doing lately. A bit worse. A bit worse. I think this Rainwaker, Denislo combo could be great. And then the other side, Ents could be good, Sinners could be good. Mouse next surprisingly well, or did surprisingly well. I mean, I am a Finnish guy, so Ents and Havu are kind of, I mean, even Endpoint could be good. But I don't think they're gonna make it to the finals. I think Sinners, because B-Stick's being kind of nutty. But Zetko and Shock. So last month, these two. Okay, Shock's being insane. What the hell? Why is he this cheap? I mean, Beastick and Shock seems like a decent one because we already have an op and we're 221 grand still. Man. You could go for someone other than Beastick, for example, but I think Beastick was in the winning lineup for the last stage. And I mean, last month stats pretty much fairly good. Beating good teams, getting great stats. Can't quite get like an. So if we go for these two teams, Skate and Sinners, so then kind of Ents or Havu players or Fiend or Young Ninjas players. So like an Ents player like Hades would kind of make sense. What about role-wise? I think I need to. If I go Spinks. Well, I really like Spinks. I also really like Doto, by the way, but there's a lot of options here. You'd go like Doto, Spinks, Shock. But I don't really like picking anyone from a straight to quarterfinals team who I don't think are gonna make it to the finals. Like if I expect Ens will make it to the finals, yeah, I don't think that makes sense. If we go Oscar, and we have the players we can afford to go down in quality quite heavily. We go for Oscar or Neofag. It doesn't matter. Stickers has been doing well. Are we sure about the Skade double? Maybe you go only one Skade. That could be the correct way to do this. And you don't go like one of these guys. And you probably go for Spirit in that case. I really like MIR. Chopper's been doing horrible lately. Maybe you go for Rainwaker instead. You can get like a Samdai Young. We don't have an Oper though. Does that matter? Role-wise, this is kind of a nightmare team, honestly. Like you can go CT rating MIR and IGL, one of these guys. Like I like everything else about the team, but the roles don't work out that well. Could you go for like Dexter? Who do you have to have as the third guy? Like a Mighty Max? Like picking again. Not Fiend. I'm picking way too much on this side then. Disturbed wasn't that bad, but I think we're just gonna lose to Ents, unfortunately. Feeling hooksy. I don't think this is really an option even. MIR is just an insane player. Damn, so many options. I feel hard to make the call. I think the Sinners duo is probably just too good to not pick. Can you go for like this? Again, no, but you have to go double Spirit. Have to go double Spirit, I feel. Grand, yeah, that is Rainmaker. I think that's decent. I'm just gonna try this out and put some rows on that. I really don't know about the rows now. I might still make the change to a different lineup, but I mean, I think CT rating has to be MIR. Or like actually multi-kill probably rather than that. Bender. Who do we have as like especially good DCT rounds or support rounds? No one's got. Wait, no, here. Okay, so Rainwaker has decent support rounds. We can do that. IGL, I guess if we pick MIR, we have to expect that they do well. So go to the finals. Shock and Beastick. I remember Shock used to be a headshot machine player. You can probably do that still. He's probably gonna have some maps where he does that. Don't have any entry guys. I mean, MIR is kind of entry guy, but we already have multi-fragger. I think multi-fragger is safer. I guess CT rating Beastick. The last one. Sure. Let's try this out. It's a bit of an odd lineup in my eyes. But I think Sinners definitely could, like these two players from Sinners definitely can be getting a lot of value for the amount of money I'm using on them. Then I guess we can only put the boosters on this Skate versus Entropic one we have on Wednesday. These are Thursday games. Okay. Skate versus Entropic. We only put one booster on Rainwaker. Is Rainwaker good at nades? I thought I remembered him being like super good. I'm gonna go KST. 73% is pretty nice. He definitely has the chance to get KST needed. If he pulls off a really nice map. He has clutch percent. Oh, he has a high clutch percent. Well, I don't know. I'll hopefully save it for a later round for him. Either way, that is gonna be it for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you didn't see my earlier video today, go and check that one out. It's for IEM Cologne playoffs, where I have a bit of an oddball lineup. And yeah, goodbye.